What are some of the critical factors of leadership that you personally pay attention to?
I think communication is a huge issue. Finding ways to communicate clearly, that people are understanding what you're saying and can follow what you're saying. I think including other people's input. I mean, ultimately, you're the one at the front leading the way, but if people feel like they have a voice, that they can contribute, that they see you making adjustments as they might make suggestions, I think those are things that are important to help people to feel secure in the situation that they're in. But also being accessible, I think, is a huge issue as a leader, that people need to feel that you're approachable, that they can. I tell people, I have a reason for everything I do. If you want to understand why I'm doing it, just ask me. Like, I'm not necessarily going to unpack it, how I came to this, but if you ask me, I can tell you why. Mm-hmm. And I think just that kind of relationship and accessibility is really important.
Yeah, I think you've hit on some really important points. I mean, for people to engage in the process of joining with the leader on the vision, there has to be really good communication. And I think you're also hitting on with accessibility and inclusiveness, a connection with the leader there.
Yeah, it's important.
So, Annabelle, what would you add to that?
Just to add on to what Mom has already shared, is the understanding. I'm just going to mention, I think there are 5 things that I think are important to focus on as a leader. And one, it starts with the understanding that you have a role as a leader to play. And it's very important that you have a clear understanding of what that role is. Some people may define that as the position, but position is really just, it's not enough to say I'm the executive director. It's not enough to say I'm the CEO, but what comes with that role. There is a huge responsibility. You carry vision, you carry people's destinies, in that particular role. And so I personally find that I sometimes I even feel pressured. I'm thankful for a fallback position that I have in Mama Christina, that, I would break when my staff are not doing well. I will, cry about, if their kids are out of school. Even when my own kids are having issues, I would think about, I feel I have the responsibility for their success and everything, but also for the ministry. If we are not doing well financially, if we are not, expanding, if we are not growing, if we're not achieving strategic objectives. So realize that your role, your position as a leader is something you need to focus on, because you carry the destiny of the company, of the organization, and you carry the destinies of people. So it's how do you grow yourself in that role? How do you educate yourself about that role, praying into that role, and constantly making sure that there is improvement for me as a person, but also for the team that I lead. And then the second thing is relationships. It is one thing to have the vision, have the role, have the soul of the company with you, but the people that you work with are not robots, they are not machines. It is very important to have the right relationships in the workplace with the stakeholders that you don't work with daily, because every organization, you realize, that has relationships with so many dynamic forces around, whether with government, whether it is with suppliers, whether with beneficiaries, whether with families. In our case, there are hospitals, there are schools, there are local leaders, there are probation officers. And it's very important that you foster a relationship that allows other people to see that they have a contribution in the vision. It's not about you being visionary and the superstar. Each one of them needs to feel they are welcome, they have a contribution, they are accepted. And so then with that relationship, you get permission to lead the people. Then you can influence people if they give you permission to lead them. And permission comes with building those strong relationships. One of the things that you find at the Remnant Generation, for example, there's a sense of family. We pray together, we eat together, we'll dress a similar way. It is not because people don't want to come and shop their fashion designs, but when you want to promote a certain culture and understanding in the workplace, you want to think about relationship. Anything that is going to obstruct good working relationships, you don't want to focus on it. And then the other thing is results. In every leadership, it's important to also realize that there is results there is people, everyone like wants to feel a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement, if we to wake up to know we rescued 27 girls, and then somebody goes home and says, yes, it was worth it. It was worth my time. It was worth my sweat. Our social workers that go do night outreaches, and they travel long distances, and at the end of that they want to see what were the results. How many girls have been transformed? How many families have been impacted? So results for me as a leader are something to look at, because you can be very busy and yet have no results, and that is where you also track your impact. Is what we are doing significant? Do we want to change something? It might be a great idea, but does it deliver results? So that is an area that you look at, and we ended up having to create a full office of monitoring and evaluation, because we were realizing that, okay, we're doing so much, but then you don't feel the sense of accomplishment and impact, and yet leadership is influence. So how are we influencing the mindset of the girls, the families that we are working with, the communities we are serving? We wanted to track those things, and we had to put up a whole unit to monitor and evaluate results. So results are important. And somebody said, I don't remember who it was, but I read in one of the books, it's either it's John Maxwell or another pastor, and then he says that, efforts without results are not good enough. It's not enough to have efforts. You need to be able to see the results. And then the other thing that I focus on, the fourth one, is the development of others. People want to grow. They want to be part of, we are living things. One of the characteristics of living things is that they grow. So if people are in a place and they don't see growth, they are not experiencing transformation. I'm learning the hard way that even when I want all my staff to be focused on the mission of the remnant generation, they also have dreams. They also have aspirations. And the remnant generation should be able to provide an opportunity for them to grow and pursue the things they are passionate about, that are not just the mission to rescue girls. So, people are passionate about sports. We have, people that are passionate about health and eating well, and others are passionate about makeup and fashion and stuff, and saying, all right, how do we provide opportunity within the organization so that people can experience and share the things they're passionate about and grow in them? How do we allow them things like study leave, to go and study and pursue things they want to, to achieve? We had one of our staff, Doris, wanted to really write a book on about waiting to give birth. She waited for 10 years before she got her baby, and she always wanted to be an author. And then there was this opportunity for us to go and attend a leadership course. And I said, well, I could go and attend it alone as the ED, but I said, well, the whole leadership team, let us all go for it. The organization contributed, and the staff made a contribution. At the end of the day, everyone graduated from leadership school, and guess what? Each one wrote a book. And that is how she was able to achieve her goal of writing the book. And it's like, yeah, so you provide opportunity for people to grow. And as a leader, I look out for that. I am learning to be intentional, to look out for opportunities that enable my other leaders to grow the leaders in other people. And lastly is basically just the legacy. Somebody mentioned, I don't know who it was, I sometimes I pick up the quotes and I forgot the names, that we have one life to live and live it well. And every time I think about that statement, I get to realize that I might not be here tomorrow. What will I be remembered for? So I therefore work as a leader to make sure that there is a legacy that I'm leaving behind. I am able to transfer as much as I can to others, to pour out my life into others. Whatever I learn is to teach it and teach and mentor and teach a lot, so that at the end of that day, when I cannot speak anymore or do the things I do anymore, or I'm not here and I've gone back to be with my father, I go back empty, and my life that I lived has significantly impacted somebody else's life.